trying to improve your English alone, no classroom, no teacher, and maybe no one to practice with, you might be wondering, how am I supposed to become a better English speaker by myself? The truth is, you don't need to spend hours jumping from one English video to another without knowing what to do next. You need a system. In this video, I am going to show you my S.O.L.O system. And I am not going to tell you what to do. I am going to show you exactly how to do each step. 4 simple steps you can use to practice English every day, even when you are learning on your own. So let's get started. Before I show you the 4 steps, I want you to understand something. A lot of people are trying to learn English, but they are learning it randomly. They watch one English video today. Tomorrow, they learn 10 vocabulary words. The next day, they watch a pronunciation video. Then maybe they download an app, use it for 3 days, and stop. And after a few weeks, they start thinking, maybe I'm not just good at English. But that's not necessarily the problem. The problem may be that you are doing a lot of English activities, but you don't have a system that connects them together. Because learning English isn't just about knowing more words. You need to hear English, you need to speak English, you need to review what you've learned, and you need to notice and correct your mistakes. That's exactly what the S.O.L.O system is designed to help you do. S.O.L.O. S. Soak. O. Output. L. Loop. O. Observe and correct. And we are going to take these one at a time. Let's start with the first one. The first step of S.O.L.O system is soak. And by soak, I mean surrounding your brain with English that you are hearing and seeing English regularly. Not only when you are sitting down to study. Think about it this way. If you want to get used to someone's voice, you have to hear that voice again and again. English works the same way. The more understandable English you hear, the more familiar English starts to feel. But here's where people make a mistake. They think immersion means watching an English video for 2 hours and hoping they magically become fluent. That's not what I am talking about. I want you to create small intentional moments of English throughout your day. Let me show you exactly how. Number 1. Choose one main source. First, choose one English teacher or one type of content that you genuinely enjoy. It could be a YouTube channel, a podcast, a TV show, or even short English videos. But don't jump from one completely different speaker to another every 5 minutes. For example, if you are learning from YouTube, you could choose one creator whose English you understand reasonably well. Listen to that person regularly. Why? Because your brain starts becoming familiar with their pronunciation, rhythm, and the way they put their sentences together. And you don't have to understand every single word. Your goal is to understand the main message. Number 2, don't make everything too difficult. This is very important. If you listen to something and you understand absolutely nothing, that's probably not the best material for your daily practice. You are going to spend all your energy trying to translate every sentence. Instead, choose something where you understand most of what you are hearing, but you still meet new words and expressions. For example, imagine I say, I am going to the supermarket because I need to pick up a few things for dinner. If you already understand most of that sentence, that's good. Maybe pick up a few things is new to you. Perfect. Now you've learned something new without drowning in difficult English. Number 3, use subtitles strategically. And what about subtitles? You can use them, but don't become completely dependent on them. If you are watching something and you are struggling to understand, Turn on English subtitles. Listen and read at the same time. Then watch the same action again without the subtitles and see how much you can understand. For example, first time, English audio plus English subtitles. Second time, English audio only. This trains your ears to connect the sounds you hear with the words you already know. And if you are a beginner, that's much more useful than constantly translating everything into your first language. Number 4, repeat content. Here's another thing I want you to try. Stop being afraid of repetition. You don't have to watch something once and immediately move on. If you find a short conversation that you like, watch it again tomorrow. The first time you might understand 60%. The second time you might notice expressions you missed. The third time you might start predicting what the speaker is going to say. That's progress. You are training your brain to process English more naturally. Number 5, bring English into your everyday life. And finally, look for small opportunities to see English throughout your day. You can change the language on your phone to English if you're comfortable doing that. You can label things around your room. For example, door, mirror, window, table, bed. But don't stop at looking at the words. Instead of simply seeing window, say, I am opening the window. Instead of seeing door, say, I am closing the door. Now you are turning input into the beginning of output. And that's important because the first part of the S.O.L.O system are connected. Your 10-minute soak routine. So here's what I want you to do every day. Give yourself just 10 minutes. Choose a short English video, conversation, podcast, or audio. For the first few minutes, simply listen. Don't stop every 5 minutes to translate. Then listen again with English subtitles if you need them. Write down 2 or 3 expressions you hear. Then listen to that same short section one more time. That's your soak. You don't need to spend 3 hours doing this. You need consistent, understandable English exposure. And remember, don't try to understand every word. First, understand the message. Then, notice the language again. And finally, listen to it again. That's how you are going to start making English feel more familiar. But listening alone isn't enough. You can spend hours listening to English and still struggle to speak. So now, we have to take what you are hearing and turn it into something you can actually produce. And that's where the second step comes in. Output. Now, we've talked about getting English into your brain, but here's the problem. You can listen to English for hours and still struggle to speak. Why? Because listening and speaking are 2 different skills. You need to give your brain a chance to produce English, not just recognize it. And that's what the second step of the S.O.L.O system is all about. Output. Output simply means using the English you know. And you don't need a teacher sitting beside you to start. Let me show you 3 ways you can practice. Number 1, talk to yourself. Yes, I'm serious. You don't have anyone to speak English with. Talk to yourself. Just describe what you are already doing. For example, imagine you are getting ready in the morning. You can say, I am getting ready for work. I need to find my keys. Where did I put my phone? I am running a little late today. That's English practice. You are starting your real life and turning it into English. And here's the important part. Don't wait until you know the perfect sentence. If you make a mistake, keep going. Your goal at this stage is to get comfortable producing English without stopping every 5 seconds to translate. Let's practice together. I am going to give you a simple situation. Imagine you've just come home from work. I want you to describe your evening. You could say, I just got home. I am tired. I am going to take a shower. After that, I am going to make dinner. Then I am probably going to watch some TV. That's 5 sentences. And you just had a mini English practice session without another person. Now you try it. Imagine you are getting ready to leave your house. Say 5 things you are doing now. Perfect. Don't worry about being perfect. Just speak. Number 2, record yourself. The second thing I want you to do is record yourself. Take your phone, open the voice recorder, and speak English for 1 or 2 minutes. You don't have to post it anywhere. Nobody has to hear it. This recording is for you. For example, choose a simple topic. What did I do today? And talk about it for 1 minute. You might say, today I woke up at 7. I had breakfast. Then I went to work. Work was busy today because... Just continue speaking. And when you are finished, listen to your recording. And this is where something interesting happens. You will probably notice something you didn't notice while you were speaking. Maybe you repeated the same word 10 times. Maybe you stopped every few seconds. Maybe you pronounced a word differently from the way you thought you did. That's not failure, that's information. Your recording is simply showing you what you need to work on. Number 3, shadowing. The third method is one of my favorites. Shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a speaker and speaking along with them at almost the same time. You are not waiting for the person to finish. You are trying to follow their pronunciation, rhythm, stress, speed, intonation. Let's do a simple example. Listen to me first. I am really looking forward to the weekend. Listen to me again and speak with me. I am really looking forward to the weekend. Again. I am really looking forward to the weekend. Notice that I am not asking you to memorize the sentence. I am asking you to copy the way the sentence sounds. That's the whole point. And if you can't keep up at first, that's completely fine. Slow the audio down, choose a shorter sentence. Practice one more sentence several times, then move to the next. So here is your 10-minute output practice. You can do this in just 10 minutes. First 3 minutes, talk about yourself. Describe what you are doing or talk about your day. Next 2 minutes, record yourself speaking. Don't restart every time you make a mistake. Keep going. Final 5 minutes, shadow a short English conversation or video. Listen, speak with the speaker, copy the rhythm, and repeat. That's it. 10 minutes. But here's one rule I want you to remember. Don't turn speaking practice into a perfection test. If you wait until your English is perfect before you speak, you will never get enough speaking practice. You become better at speaking by speaking. So make mistakes, notice them, learn from them, and keep going. Because now you are not just putting English into your brain through soak, you are talking English out of your brain through output. But there's still another problem. You learn a new word today and 2 weeks later, you've completely forgotten it. So how do we stop that from happening? That's where the third step of the S.O.L.O system comes in. Now let's talk about the third step. This is the part that helps you remember what you are learning. Because maybe this has happened to you before. You learn a new English word today, you understand it. Maybe you've even used it once. Then 2 weeks later, someone uses that same word in a conversation and you think, wait, I know this word. What does it mean again? That happens because you learned the word once and moved on. So instead of constantly learning new words, I want you to look back to the English you've already learned. Don't just read the meanings. Use them. For example, let's say you learned, I am looking forward to it. Don't simply write, look forward to, excited about something that will happen. Create your own sentence. I am looking forward to my weekend. Then create another one. I am looking forward to seeing my friend. Now that expression is connected to your life, not just a definition in a notebook. And the next day, come back to it. Try to use it again without looking at your notes. That's the loop. A simple review schedule. You can keep it very simple. Today, learn it and use it. Tomorrow, use it again. A few days later, test yourself. 1 week later, use it in a new sentence. You don't need to review hundreds of words every day. In fact, I would rather you remember 3 useful expressions every day than learn 30 and forget them. So remember, don't just learn more English. Keep coming back to the English you've already learned. That's how your vocabulary becomes something you can eventually use. And now we have one final step. Because if you are learning alone, there's one big question. Who is going to tell me when I am making mistakes? That's what the final O is for. Observe and correct. Now we've reached the final step of the S.O.L.O system. O. Observe and correct. If you are learning English alone, you might be thinking, but who is going to correct me? That's a very good question. Because you don't want to practice the same mistake for 6 months and become really comfortable saying it incorrectly. So, you need to learn to observe your own English. Here's a simple way to start. Number 1, listen to yourself. Remember when I told you to record yourself? Go back to those recordings. Don't listen to them just to hear your voice. Listen like a teacher. Ask yourself, did I pronounce that word correctly? Did I use the correct tense? Did I keep repeating the same word? Did I stop too much when I was speaking? You don't need to find 20 mistakes. Find 1 or 2 you can improve. That's enough. Number 2, keep a mistake notebook. Create a small section in your notebook called My English Mistakes. Whenever you notice a mistake, write, I didn't went to work. I didn't go to work. Then make your own sentence. I didn't go to the supermarket yesterday. Now you've corrected the mistake and practiced the correct structure. And don't be embarrassed by this notebook. Actually, your mistakes are useful. They show you exactly what you need to practice next. Number 3, use tools for feedback. If you are learning alone, you can also use technology to help you. You can use an English dictionary to check pronunciation. You can also use speech recognition tools to see whether your words are being understood. And you can use AI to check your writing or help you identify patterns in your mistakes. But remember, don't let the tool do all the thinking for you. Try to produce the English yourself first. Then use the tool to check your work. That way, you are still doing the learning. Number 4, do a weekly check-in. Once a week, take a few minutes and ask yourself, what can I do in English now that I couldn't do last week? Maybe you are speaking longer. Maybe you are understanding videos more easily. Maybe you are using new expressions without translating them first. Maybe you are making fewer mistakes. Write those improvements down. Because sometimes your English is improving, but you don't notice it. Your 5-minute observe and correct routine. You don't need to spend an hour analyzing yourself. Once or twice a week, take about 5 minutes. Listen to one of your recordings. Find 1 or 2 mistakes. Correct them. Then say the correct sentence out loud. That's it. And now you have all the 4 parts of the system. Soak. Get English into your brain. Output. Get English out of your brain. Loop. Keep reviewing what you've learned. Observe and correct. Notice your mistakes and improve them. That's the complete S.O.L.O system. Now let's put everything together and turn it into a routine you can actually follow every day. So how do we put everything together? Keep it simple. 10 minutes. Soak. Listen to understand English. 10 minutes. Output. Speak. record yourself or shadow. 5 minutes, loop. Review the words and expressions you've already learned. 5 minutes, observe and correct. Listen to yourself and work on 1 or 2 mistakes. That's just 30 minutes a day. And remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Final challenge. Before you leave, I want you to do one thing. Take your phone, record yourself speaking English for 30 seconds and talk about yourself. Don't write a script, just speak. That's your first step. Soak, output, loop, observe. That's the S.O.L.O system. If this video helped you, subscribe for more practical English lessons and I'll see you in the next one.